What is going on, my friends? We finally got our big order from Funko that we've been waiting to place for a while, you know, with all the shelf sitters and the cool new horror stuff that's been dropping. So you know what, let's check them out, let's unbox them, let's see what we got, guys. The box has a little bit of a ding in it. Hopefully they put some, they have them shipped in sorters, so that way they're not in messed up condition, but we shall see, guys. Wish us luck. Alright, that was a relief. It looks like they double boxed it, guys. This box was inside the bigger box, and this one doesn't look messed up at all, so hopefully they're still in sorters, but I'm not sure, but at least they were double boxed, so that's a relief, because after seeing the ding in the top box, I was like, oh, hopefully one's not messed up. But that's a good sign. Double box, guys. We're in luck. Alright, I'm glad everything arrived safe. It's awesome that they double boxed them. I was a little worried about it, but that's really good that they double boxed. But taking a look, let's start off with the doubles that I ended up getting. I had already gotten the Shelf Sitter Blood Pennywise from, the Entertainment Earth exclusive. I had already gotten one, but I opened that one, and it's just a cool one. I'm mainly an inbox collector, you know. Majority of my collection is still inboxes, but the ones I really like, you know what, I'm like, we gotta display them. And with the Shelf Sitters, you kind of have to. They're freaking awesome, you know, the way that they drape down in the front. You know, they're definitely worth adding the double, you know, but being an inbox collector, I was like, I wanted to grab another one so that way I have one inbox, you know, and we never got a double of the art with the head candy bowl, because we got one initially for the collection, and I unboxed it to show everybody, but we never got a second one to keep unboxed with all the rest of them, guys. So these are the doubles that we ended up getting, just so that way we have a boxed one for the collection, and we have another one that we could finally unbox. Probably just unbox the one that we already unboxed, and I'll put this one into the pop protector. But at least we got those ones, but let's check out the new ones that we have to add to the collection now. Alright, first off, we got the brand new Pennywise Shelf Sitter, guys. This one is really different, as we see. This was the Blood Pennywise, and this one was from It Welcome to Derry, obviously, and then this one is from It Chapter 1. You know, I would assume it's more from him from It Chapter 2. Wouldn't you think? Like when he was messing with Richie and he was sitting on like the shoulder of the big statue. I don't know. That's what I was assuming it was from, but I guess it could be from Chapter 1 as well. But let me move this one. Let's take a closer look at this one. We're going to unbox it too so we can get a way better look. There's the side. Dang, I miss when they would put the whole sets on there, guys. I really miss that. Look, I messed it up, and let me get it to focus again. I really wish that they would still put the sets, you know, but the back of the box is still pretty cool. You know, there's Pennywise on it. Yeah, it says It Chapter 1, but I would assume it'd be from It Chapter 2. But very, very nice. Let's unbox it, and let's take a look at it now. Alright, I got it out of the box, and this one's a little bit different, because this one's like, it's fully encased, and it looks like the stand is separate. See, it kind of has like a little spot for the stand underneath, so we'll have to see when we open this and see how the stand gets put on there. It's a little different than the Blood Pennywise. You know, so that's interesting. Yeah, so it looks like the stand is separate, and you can see there's like a little hole in his butt, of all places, that's funny, to put the stand. So let's get the stand on him so we can see what it looks like normally. Alright, we got him propped up here on the edge, and it actually looks really dope. I like the detail that his like forehead has, and that they put into his face, the smirk. Ooh, I'm casting a shadow. Let me see if I can move. Very nice. What's on his face? Something on there. Oh, okay, good. It came off. Sometimes there's little blemishes, but that one was just like some dust, I guess, from in the box. But very cool. Check out, like, let's get a closer look here. Like the frills. That's actually really cool. His outfit looks really nice, and the shoes dangling down. Let's check out. Of course, the Pennywises, they always have such big sculpts, you know, with the head. I like the balloon. It seems like it's attached a little bit, like I want to say it's attached. Yeah, it's attached at his head, you know, but very, very cool, guys. This one, it kind of seems, does the head move like the last Ghostface? No, it's stiff. Okay, because I remember the Target Con one, like it kind of moved, you know, the head would just freely spin, but yeah, this one's normal, just like how they should be, vinyl figure. But very cool. It actually looks really nice. I'm glad that I got doubles of these two, so that way we can display them. Just with the shelf sitters, you kind of have to, you know. But being an inbox collector, I want one in the box. I don't know if it's just like almost like the 40-year-old virgin. You gotta play with. Don't take it out. I'm sorry. You know, when I take them out the box, I'm like, but you know, with some of them being so cool, I want to display them and kind of have to, you know. But how freaking awesome is this Pennywise? Oh, so freaking cool, guys. Yeah, I at first I was a little iffy with the shelf sitters. When they first announced them, I was like, what are these shelf sitters? You know, I was like, it's just gonna, they're gonna make the same pops, but I'm sold on them, guys. I have to admit, I give it to Funko. These shelf sitters are pretty clever. As long as they keep making like these cool horror characters, you know. Well, I'm sure if they did some other cool IPs and movies, then it would be cool too, you know. But of course, they keep pumping up some horror ones, guys. Then we're gonna add them to the collection because I'm digging the shelf sitters, you know. I'm sold on them now. But this one is really, really cute. Really cute. I really wish it was one piece still, just like how the Entertainment Earth exclusive was. You know, but at least it did come with a stand, you know, because Pennywise, he's pretty top heavy with the big head sculpt, you know, so it's understandable, but still very, very cool, guys. Very glad that we added to the collection. We're going to have to rearrange stuff so that way we can display all these new shelf sitters. Alright, next up we have the Ghostface shelf sitter, and this one was like the first one to drop. I'd seen this one in stores like the last 2 or 3 times that we went to the mall hunting pops. It looks like it's a little dirty on there. It kind of just wiped off. I don't know what it was. Some kind of maybe box dust, I really don't know, but it had some kind of stuff on it. But it did just wipe off. But yeah, we put off buying this one because I knew that I wanted to get the other ones. We had to get, you know, the Terrifier, we had to get the Pennywise, and I wanted to place the big order from Funko, you know, and I was like, I knew I had to get double to display them, so that way I can keep one sealed. But I put this one off for a while, but I'm glad we're finally able to add it to the collection. Definitely going to have to display them with the other shelf sitters. Now let's open this one up and take a closer look. We'll see if it has a separate stand or not. Alright, pulling this one out of the box. This one wasn't fully encased, you know, like the whole entire figure, like the Pennywise, but it does look like the little stand for it to sit is separate, you know, so it probably has a hole on the bottom too, just like the Pennywise, but let's take a look. Alright, we got the Ghostface all set up. It did have a little hole on the bottom in order to put the little stand. This one is still really cute, I have to admit. The shelf sitters are really, really cute, and the little ghost faces are pretty cute. This one, it kind of seemed like it had a little bit of a harder time, like, stain on there. I don't know if it's the knife. It kind of seems like the knife is so close to the stand that it was kind of stopping it. I don't know. Maybe it has to be, I don't know. Now it's good, you know, but it kind of seemed like the knife was wanting to stop it, so I don't know if that's going to be a little problem on like where to display it, but it shouldn't be, you know, but it's just because the knife's kind of tilted backwards, so it's kind of going past, let's see if I can get it to focus, it's kind of going past the stand, you know, so that's why I'm sure I could probably like even move it a little, and that's something that's even weird too, is like this ghost face, look, let me put it down so I can kind of do, this ghost face head moves too. The Pennywise doesn't. It's just all one piece. But the ghost face haven't getting lately. I wonder why the ghost face heads move. But it's cool because then if you want to display it looking in a certain direction, it is cool because then you could do that. You know, I just wonder why it's like the ghost face they do that, but like the Pennywise, maybe it's just because how big the sculpts are for the heads of the Pennywise, you know, they kind of need it to attach, or it'll probably just pop off. But this one, I guess it's not as big of a sculpt. I really don't know. That's just all speculation, just throwing out ideas, you know. But I thought it was kind of funny, guys. You know that all the ghost faces lately, you know, you can kind of move their head. You know, shit, I could probably 360 it. You know, but it's cool because at least you can kind of make them look certain directions. So if you put them on an edge, you can kind of have them facing you. So that's a pretty cool thing. You know, I just wonder why it's just the ghost faces and not really the other ones. Well, I guess we'll see when I open the next one. You know, but what do you guys think about this ghost face shelf sitter? I always thought the little ghost face pops, they're not scary. They're just so cute, right? And the shelf sitters, you know, they're really cute. I'm digging them. I hope they make more horror icons. You know, like but then again, do you want to see Michael Myers sitting down? I don't know. Like I guess you could have him sitting, like, you know, when he does like when he sits up and he does that iconic like just sitting up straight, no arms or anything, no swaying, just like a board, boom, sitting straight up. I guess you could have him doing something like that. I don't know, who do you guys want to see? I'm sure they'll do like Billy the Puppet from Saw, you know, but who else can they do, you know, as a shelf sitter? So far we have Ghostface, we have Pennywise, and we have Art the Clown. I want to say that's it for the shelf sitters, you know, horror wise, you know, but still they can do a lot more. I'm sure they'll do a Billy the Puppet, you know, but they can do so many more. So let me know down in the comments, who do you guys want to see as a shelf sitter? You know, because there's so many different horror icons or even other IPs that they can do, you know, but very cute. You know, like I said, at first I was hesitant, but I have to admit, they sold me on the shelf sitters, so I hope they make more horror icons. That way we could add those to the collection and have them all sitting on the shelf. I'm gonna have to move these because they're already kind of blocking. Of course, you want Blood Pennywise by the Blood Pennywise NECA. So I'm gonna have to rearrange all of these. I might have to even just, I don't know, move a whole bunch of stuff and just have a whole shelf of shelf sitters. That was hard to say, a shelf of shelf sitters. Might have to do that, but we'll see. But let's open up the next one. But let me know down in the comments, guys, what do you think of the Ghostface shelf sitter? Still a little cutie, huh? And last but not least, the main one that we are waiting on to drop to add to the collection is the Art the Clown shelf sitter. We have every single Terrifier Funko Pop besides the, the Doodle Pop. That one hasn't dropped on Funko yet, and I don't think I've seen it hit stores yet. But other than that, we have every single one, and then when the Clown Cafe comes out, we're going to have to get 2 of those ones too, but that's when I first started opening the Pops. Because I liked them so much, I gotta display them, Same with the NECAs. I was like, oh my goodness, I want to display them, but the collector in me is like, I want to keep them sealed. I don't know what it is, but of course we had to get the Art the Clown shelf sitter. It was the one I was most excited for. I look at the eyes on it. I like it, and the grin. Oh, I like the eyes because it's kind of similar to how they did the Santa one. I really dig that, Oh, it's because it's cute, but it's still kind of I don't know, still menacing but cute. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I don't know, because with how wide they are, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's menacing and cute at the same time. Very, very awesome pop. You can see the trash bag is behind them. I can't wait to open this. Very, very cool. I hope they make more shelf sitters. I really do because I dig them. But definitely had to grab this one to add to the collection, guys. So let's open this bad boy up and take a closer look. Alright, we got the art shelf sitter out of the box, and this one is really cool because it didn't come with the stand. It just has the trash bag as the stand, and it is heavy enough to anchor him down. How freaking awesome is that? So it doesn't have that extra plastic stand, which kind of I don't know, it's cool, but I prefer if it was just one piece like this if they're gonna do the stand. I like how, let me just grab this so I can show you. This one didn't have an extra stand. It was just all one solid piece, but I really like how they did this one too. I really like how they did this one too. With it being the trash bag and not having just the extra plastic piece. Very, very cool. It's better than it having, the ghost face and the other Pennywise, how they had a hole in their butt, so it's better that they had the trash bag being the anchor in the back. Very, very cool. So the trash bag is the stand, so let's get a closer look at it now. There's his iconic hat. Very cool. I like the eyes, guys, and the little smirk. And his hands, I don't know. That's funny. But I really dig that they have the trash bag as the stand, and to anchor him down. That's very, very smart. I like that design. Very, very cool. So Funko, A1 on this one, guys. That was an awesome job. Knocked it out of the park with this shelf sitter. Very nice, guys. I'm very happy that we ended up getting the shelf sitters. With Terrifier, we knew we were going to get that one. But oh my goodness, after getting them and adding them to the collection, I really hope they make more. So freaking awesome, so cute. They could even make more Terrifier ones, They can make a Vicky one. They really should, I want them because they're so cute. And then you could just have them sitting off the edge. Oh my goodness, So I'm glad we added them to the collection. Very, very cool. I'm glad Funko made them. But what do you guys think of these shelf sitters? So freaking awesome. Let me pull the rest of them down real quick. Alright, guys. So we have all 4 of the horror shelf sitters. Let me know which one is your favorite. Is it the Pennywise, the Bloody Pennywise, the Ghostface, Art the Clown, or the regular Pennywise? I have to say, my favorite is the Art the Clown now, of course, and then this Blood Pennywise. I really like how the stands, are just one piece, one solid piece, and not the extra plastic, but they're still really cool. You have to have them sit somehow, so no matter what, they're still really cool and clever. I like the shelf sitters. They've really grown on me, and I hope they make more horror icons. Like I said, who do you guys want to see as a shelf sitter? They can do so many, Let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite and what horror icon do you guys think that they should make a shelf sitter for next, or if they should make more for Pennywise or more Art the Clown ones. What type, would you want to see as a shelf sitter, But very clever, very awesome. I really dig them. Like I said, the Art the Clown and this Blood Pennywise, freaking awesome, guys. you know, but let me know down in the comments which one's your favorite. Alright, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you haven't yet, do me one quick favor, hit that like button. If you're new here, click that subscribe button, come and kick it with us more often. We're avid collectors, you know, tons of Funko Pop hunts, NECA hunts. We still need to hunt down the very last Pennywise NECA that we need for our collection for the Welcome to Derry. I went searching today and no dice, but you know what, the hunt continues. Alright guys, but I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.